tripping all the time. Yeah. What's he doing, man? Yo, chill, cuz. We'll take copper tomorrow, right? Copper tomorrow, bro. Here they go, getting lit. To each their own. It's the whistle. Do not mess with. Do not mess with the whistle. You think you slick? You're not slick. What you doing? Hey, brother. It's turmeric and black pepper, bro. Inflammation. No Tylenols, no ibuprofen, no aspirins, no nothing. I gotta. Yeah. You smell it, right? It's strong, right? It's strong. Yeah, good for the teeth and gums too. Damn, it's bitter. It's bitter. You know, ginger's good for if you're nauseous. And I tell you, boy, I had that ginger shot this earlier. I don't get nauseous for nothing, but goodness. I got to put water in this because it'll stain it. Even though it's still. Downstairs, Papa. Yeah. All right, we played. My boy, you know, yeah, that's the toe. Boy, you mess with that. You grab hold of that toe and put my foot up your butt. Sure is. We're gonna read that tomorrow. It's poetry. I'll put foot in your butt, boy. Hey, leave the whistle on. Just because it fell down, don't mean you gotta go all that with it. Yeah, I'm not gonna wait too long. Hey, what's going on, family? So, I got some bad news, but I got some good news. I got 2 more. They're in the truck. I just wanted to show y'all. I got 3 of these today. So Monday, we'll see what happens, what shows up, right? So I had 3 of them, and I was like, God dang it, this thing. And I heard that dude back there whistling and singing. Some said just hang around, Red. He probably put it right in there, right after 3 o'clock. 3:30. You know how it is when you're working Friday, you know you're going to be off for the weekend. You don't care about what you're putting in with whatever postal workers, you know what I'm saying? He got me. He got me. Not like back up north where they open on Saturdays because there's so many people. Here it ain't that, well, there's a lot, but it's not that many people. Remember, there's 20% of the population from Nebraska over this way. And Nebraska over to the East Coast is 80% of the population. That's why we have all these soldiers out in the desert training and stuff that are foreign, that y'all don't know nothing about. And they're still digging up, going underground, building things. But I just wanted to let you know. I got 3 of them. So it might be 2 for 1. Who knows? We'll see Monday. Well, that's the good news. The bad news is I'm going to read tomorrow morning. Why? Because I want to read all the poetry. Not everybody's susceptible. Even though you heard me read the book, I'm going to read Arthur Kessler right now and Pale Horse, but I'm not reading all the other stuff. I'm going to read those tomorrow. Because you know me, I like to get ahead. I like to jump around, read a few chapters here and there, and just to make sure. And that's the reason why I'm going to read Arthur Kessler and Pale Horse right now. And then tomorrow, we'll read it all, and we'll keep it going forward. But I want to read this, the poems. It's only 1, 2, and actually, one of them's kind of long, 3, 4. It's only 5. 5 poems, and they literate about the story of his life. So, and we already know he's a nigga. I hate that word, but you know what I mean. The plural was it is at the time. Change in the hands of the century about to happen, which would be around 80 years, roughly 75 to 80 years, but it had to be played on making sure that he was the president, not a Khan or a king to rewrite history. This country never had no damn presidents. Washington wasn't no president. All them idiots they talking about, nobody want no presidents. That's all their fabricated story and lies. And I stand by that. I've read enough. I've had plenty. When we get to reading all these books, as long as we're all here and they don't start hitting them 18 hertz, you'll see. That's why I don't respect nothing about this fragile, funky, nasty, perverted thing they want to call a government. It's a lie. All right, so I was just drinking 4 ounces of 4 or 5 ounces of warm water, warm enough where you make you want to slow down before you drink, but not hot where you can drink it, with 1 tablespoon of turmeric and about 1/10 of a teaspoon of black pepper powder. So I take the black pepper, it's already ground up, and I put that in my little thing and I make it into powder. Why? Because turmeric will pretty much won't go into your liver, into your fat and everything. It'll pass right through. But black pepper has this thing called, what is it called? There's a chemical in black pepper. Anyway, it causes your body to absorb the turmeric so that way it can assist in inflammation, your cardiac, everything, helping remove plaque, all kind of stuff. So I like to do that turmeric. Usually I do a ginger shot with turmeric and black pepper and lemon. Warm, that's a shot too, and that's very strong, and it's hot actually. But this morning I just did a lemon and ginger shot for potassium. The gingers are anti-inflammatory and it's very good for your respiratory and all that. But you can't do it every day. So like Monday I'll probably do it again. The turmeric I'll probably do it again. Now turmeric, when you first do it, you could do a load phase. This is a little tea for you, where you could do it for several days. Some people say you can go a little longer, but if you're using the black powder and the measurement I gave you, 7 days is a load. If that ain't working, then maybe you might have some serious issue. And most of the time, it's changing your diet. Trust me on this. I'm not saying don't be vegan. What I'm stating, most vegans eat a lot of carbs and a lot of things that spike their sugar. And what is the spike their sugar, and there's a lot of information there. My apologies, y'all. Insulin. And that is the last thing you want. Now, when you fast, for those who go on like a 5-day fast with nothing, minimal drinking of water only, no juices, never do that. What happens is all that goes up. But when you make it to the end of your fast and then you take a small juice in, potassium, natural sugars, not the bad stuff. Because a lot of doctors have it, there's a myth behind the sugar thing, but if you have an issue with sugar and you're not utilizing okra and you're not using green leafy vegetables, cabbage you can eat raw, but kale you need to poach. That means you don't want to boil it because you get rid of everything good in it, but because of what they do with it, you want to take kale and you want to put it in with the cabbage and let the water steam, about a gallon of water in a calendar in a deep like a spaghetti, and you want to let it boil and then add the cabbage and kale together with some salt with iodine on it. Because you need the salt, potassium, and the iodine more important than anything. Thyroid, this, that, and other. Because you don't have to take metformin and all that kind of stuff. For those of you who can change that. And you steam it for 5 minutes. You hear me? That's why Japanese rice is actually really good. All right? instead of immersing it in water and all that foolishness. You know, they put it in bamboo, they wrap it with certain leaves and seaweed, and it is full of minerals and everything. So you don't spike the sugar and your insulin and all that. All right, you get that drop that's really bad. But what you want is the natural and the better rising of it. But you don't want sugar spike, and you gotta leave everything alone with that damn insulin. You put insulin, you gotta leave all that bad sugar, all of it alone. You gotta put fruit aside. All right, orange every once in a while is gonna hurt you, but you can get vitamin C and a lot of that from a lot of different things. Even lentils are good if you know how to make them, and don't use honey while you're fasting. I made the mistake numerous times. You see, I haven't been using honey, and I like Manuka honey, and it's very good. Now, I've got plenty of it. I'm still going to use it, but not as of right now. You see what I'm saying? So, I thought I would share that with you. Turmeric, get you 4 to 5 ounces, put it in the microwave if you want to do it, or on the stove on the fire is best. Don't cook it in aluminium. Get stainless steel. Cook it in that, not that stuff made over in India, because that's fake. And Indonesia, that's mixed aluminium and steel. It's not even, I don't know what it is. Nickel, you don't want that. And boil your water, pour you off 4 to 5 ounces. Get you 1 tablespoon measure of turmeric and 1/10 of a teaspoon ground up powder into that, and stir it briskly to get the flavonoids to open up, and then start sipping it. And stir it every time you sip it, because the black powder, even the powder, even though it's bonded with the molecular structure of the cumin, the turmeric, to cause your body to absorb the cumin, you want to absorb as much of it possible, at least up to 50%, minus the 0.5 that you were getting when the rest of it was passing through you. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and get this reading on. I just wanted to share that information with you. I thought it might be informative. Some people might say otherwise. I know that when I lost a lot of weight, going to I hate saying Jamaican, my brother from the Caribbean, he's straight vegan. I went on that vegan diet, and I was running, like 12 and 15 miles every other day, from 260, 270. At that time when I started, it was 272, I think. And I got down to 230 in no time. Now that's even after having my back surgery. You see what I'm saying? So I wasn't doing bodyguard and bouncing no more. It wasn't because of the size. It's too much nonsense. It was too much crazy and foolishness I was saying, and protecting girls who were so, I was like, enough of that. So, and besides that, homeboy wanted to be a little cheap and everything. He thought he knew something. He really didn't, because I was going out with the guardian angels every night. I mean, except for when I chose not to. You see what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and get this reading in so we can get it done. You guys can enjoy your night. I hope none of you really going out to act retarded. But if you're going out to act retarded, there's no way to say do it a smart way. Just even drinking, we can have moral subjugation. If you go beyond that, it's called spirits for a reason. Remember that. I was on 13. Let's take it down to. Yeah, that's cool. So let's go ahead and get into this. All right. I appreciate everybody coming in. I really do. And like I said, inform everybody that check the notification and all that. If you're here new, go ahead and hit the subscribe, hit that bell, and a lot of reading. And I like to also know this: in the AM, I have what turns my gears. I've kind of changed it up lately. I'm being very direct. So if you can't handle that, go on and find your entertainment elsewhere. One more thing. One thing I detest is talking about worldly affairs. For everybody that don't have content, they got to always talk about everything going on. The saddest thing I hear is when people talking about stuff that happened in 2001, 2002. Like, so what? Whatever's going to be of it's going to be of it. If you want to, if you want to keep people's minds in that and know how to elevate them, then that's where you need to be. And you stay with those people and you follow all that nonsense. All right. So Arthur Kessler, the 13th tribe, the startling new discovery about the true ancestry of the Jewish people, it will cause a stir. And got him dead. Chapter 8. About a century after the Khazar correspondence and I think I was beyond that. Yes, I read a lot. Yeah. Yeah. No. Chapter 8. About a century after the Khazar correspondence and the presumed date of the Cambridge document, you can pull it up based upon the Khazars, Jehuda Halevi wrote his once celebrated book, Khazaria. I did read this. The Khazarias Halevi, 1085 to 1141. I did read that. My apologies, y'all. Because I looked over here, and I'm going to go ahead and read this to pick it up so that way you guys remember. I forgot. I'm actually damn near almost finished with the book. So this also applies to the famed German Jewish traveler, Rabbi Ptashia of Ratisbon, who visited Eastern Europe and Western Asia between 1170 and 1185. His travelogue, Sibo Haolam, Journey Around the World, was apparently written by a pupil based on his notes or on dictation. It relates how shocked the good rabbi was by the primitive observances of the Khazar Jews north of the Crimea, which he attributed to their adherence to the Kararet heresy. See, you can see they're steeped in a whole lot of false lies and religion. I used to watch the Hasidics, but even there's some things kind of foul there too. And the Rabbi Ptashia asked them, "Why do you not believe in the words of the sages?" In brackets it says, for example, the Talmudists. They replied, "Because our fathers did not teach them to us. On the eve of the Sabbath, they cut all the bread which they eat on the Sabbath." And today is the Sabbath. "They eat it in the dark and sit the whole day on one spot. Their prayers consist only of the Psalms." These are the ones who will later become the ones who are actual practitioners. The ones you see talking about running around in New York and Philly and all places, talking about, "Y'all are the chosen people." If you never had one come up to you, you had one of them dumb Negroes, some IUC, this, that, and I got a cousin with them, all that craziness, then you haven't really seen the truth. Anywho, so incensed was the rabbi that when he subsequently crossed the Khazar heartland, all he had to say was that it took him 8 days, during which he heard the wailing of women and the barking of dogs. He does mention, however, that while he was in Baghdad, he had seen envoys from the Khazar kingdom looking for needy, check this out, Jewish scholars from Mesopotamia. Pay attention, and even from Egypt, to teach their children Torah and Talmud. While few Jewish travelers from the West undertook the hazardous journey to the Volga, they recorded encounters with Khazar Jews at all principal centers of the civilized world. Rabbi Ptashia met them in Baghdad, and Benjamin of Tudela, another famous traveler of the 12th century, visited Khazar notables in Constantinople, and and Alexandria. And Ibrahim Ben Daud, a contemporary of Judah Halevi's, reports that he had seen in Toledo some of their descendants, pupils of the wise. Tradition has it that these were Khazar princesses. One is tempted to think of Indian princelings sent to Cambridge to study. Yet there is a curious ambivalence, oh my goodness, my toe, ambivalence in the attitude toward the Khazars of the leaders of Orthodox Jewry in the East, centered on the Talmudic Academy in Baghdad. The Gaon, as states in parentheses, Hebrew for excellency, the Gaon, who stood at the head of the academy, was the spiritual leader of the Jewish settlements dispersed all over the Near and Middle East, while the Exilra, or Prince of Captivity, represented the secular power over these more or less autonomous communities. Saida, Gaon. And it has 882, 942. I guess that's the time or period. Dude, you're going to tear the wall up. Most famous among the spiritual excellencies who left voluminous writings repeatedly referred to them to the Khazars. He mentions a Mesopotamian Jew who went to Khazaria to settle there, as if this were an everyday occurrence. He speaks obscurely of the Khazar court. And check this out, everyday occurrence. He speaks obscurely of the Khazar court. Elsewhere, he explains that in the biblical expression Hiram of Tyre, Hiram is not a proper name but a royal title, like Caliph for the ruler of the Arabs and Kagan for the king of the Khazars. Thus, Khazaria was very much on the map in the literal and metaphorical sense. And for the leaders of the ecclesiastical, I can't stand it, hierarchy of Oriental Jewry, but at the same time, the Khazars were regarded with certain misgivings, both on racial grounds and because of their suspected leanings toward the Karaite hearsay. One 11th century Hebrew author, Yafet ibn Ali, himself a Karaite, explains the word mamzer, bastard, by the example of the Khazars who became Jews without belonging to the race. His contemporary Jacob ben Reuben reflects the opposite side of this ambivalent attitude by speaking of the Khazars as a single nation who do not bear the yoke of the exile, but are great warriors paying no tribute to the Gentiles. In summing up the Hebrew sources on the Khazars, no, they run around murdering everybody today. On the Khazars, using everybody as a puppet who don't know the truth. On the Khazars that have come down to us, one senses a mixed reaction of enthusiasm, skepticism, and above all, bewilderment. A warrior nation of Turkish Jews must have seemed to the rabbis as strange as a circumcised unicorn. Told you all unicorns are real. During 1,000 years of dispersion, the Jews had forgotten what it was like to have a king in a country. The Messiah was more real to them than the Kagan. As a postscript to the Arabs and Hebrew sources relating to the conversion, it should be mentioned that the apparently earliest Christian source antedates them both. At some date, why are you biting my foot, no? Excuse me. Date earlier than 864, and the Westphalian monk Christian Dumar and Aquitania wrote a Latin treatise, Exposito and Evangelium Matthaei, in which he reports that there exists people under the sky in regions where no Christians can be found, whose name is Gog and Magog, and who are Huns, eight. It does say eight, it's supposed to be an R, who are Huns. Among them is one called the Ghazali, who are circumcised and observe Judaism in its entirety. This remark occurs apropos of Matthew 24:13. Now that's some New Testament shit, which has no apparent bearing on it, and no more is heard of the subject. Now you must remember, y'all, Mamzar. That's what they were being called by the TRU. And you know the locations. This guy, though, you got to remember his education regardless of learning the truth. Now, you know, they were everywhere. We were everywhere. So, but this is here to, this, all he's doing, he got tired of playing the game. And he knew that his people are not the true people who have lived the Hebraic life of humbleness, no ownership of anything. Why do you think all these moguls, these Jewish nasty perversions, own the music and everything, want to own everybody's time? When people want to buy their stuff, they get them dead using the hands of Negroes and certain Asians and goofies around them. But you got to remember also, from Japheth begat Gomer, but he had other sons, and Gomer had other sons. And what were the sons with the Khazars, the Ashkenaz? See, this is what people don't pay attention to. At about the same time when Druthmar wrote down what he knew from hearsay about the Jewish Khazars, a famed Christian missionary sent by the Byzantine emperor attempted to convert them to Christianity. He was no less a figure than Saint Cyril, apostle of the Slavs. Alleged designer of the Cyrillic alphabet, he and his elder brother, Saint Methodius, so now you see where the Methodist crap comes from, were entrusted with this and other proselytizing missions by the Emperor Michael III on the advice of the Patriarch Podius, and it states himself apparently of Khazar descent, for it is reported that the emperor once called him in anger Khazar face in parentheses. So the Christians, now you notice some Muslims of Khazarian origin. This is what I'm saying. Nobody's been paying attention. He's telling it all. Cyril's proselytizing efforts seem to have been successful among the Slavonic people in Eastern Europe, but not among the Khazar. He traveled to their country via Cherson in the Crimea. Excuse me. All right. Cherson in the Crimea, and in the Cherson, he is said to have spent 6 months learning Hebrew in preparation for his mission. He then took the Khazarian way, the Don Volga portage, to Etel, I guess that's Italy, anyway, and from there traveled along the Caspian to meet the Khagan. It is not said where, though. The usual theological disputations followed, but they had little impact on the Khazar Jews. Even the adulatory Vita Constantine, Cyril's original name, says only that Cyril made a good impression on the Khagan, that a few people were baptized and 200 Christian prisoners were released by the Khagan as a gesture of goodwill. It was the least he could do for the emperor's envoy who had gone to so much trouble. There is a curious sidelight thrown on the story by students of Slavonic philology. This word, what the hell? Philology. Never heard of it. Cyril is credited by tradition not only with having devised the Cyrillic, but also the glagolitic alphabet. The latter, according to Baron, was used in Croatia to the 17th century. Its indebtedness to the Hebrew alphabet in at least 11 characters, representing in part the Slavonic sounds, has long been recognized. The 11 characters are A, B, V, G, E, K, P, R, S, Sh, T. Wow. I guess when you hear them, Anyway, this seems to confirm what has been said earlier on about the influence of the Hebrew alphabet in spreading literacy among the neighbors of the Khazars. And we'll get to the decline next. Let's go ahead and hit Pale Horse. God dog, man, there's some new words I just saw. Even though I read this already, I scam. Y'all know I scam. Because I can see key things jump out at me. When you learn to speak, when you practice speed reading from the 80s and you start, and it helped me in the military to study and everything. But now, because I've been doing it so long, I see everything, but things stand out that may of importance. And then there's words I go back to, and I saw that. Oh, what is that? Oh, that's what happens, All right, here's our boy. Behold the Pale Horse. Oh, man, William Cooper. Namaste. Man, this cat. So we already went through all the secret silent wars for silent weapons for silent wars. And right now we're in secret societies and the New World Order. Okay? This is crazy, man. And we had just started yesterday. And we got all the way down to, but it's usually fraternal is, all right, anyway, we got down to here. It can be anything, but is usually fraternal and is found in all pressure groups wherever people congregate. Let's go right on into it. The comradeship is especially important. Sharing hardships or secrets has always been a special thrill to man. No one who's ever undergone the rigors of boot camp is ever likely to forget the special feeling of belonging and comradeship. That was shared between the victims of the drill sergeant or company commander. You ain't kidding. That was awesome friggin' time. Anyway, it is an emotion born of initiation, The most it's brainwashing, but it was awesome. Most potent tool of any secret society is the ritual and myth surrounding initiation. These special binding ceremonies have very deep meaning for the participants. And what's so funny about Arthur Kessler? If Harem Abiff was that great, it would have been mentioned time in and time over. That's why I get tired of these idiots when they start doing all that goofy stuff. Initiation performs, like my uncle said, it was the 33rd before he just mysteriously died. Reading that, that's how I got the. That's why I went and read the Devil's Bible. Initiation performs. Yeah, the Devil's Bible. Anyway, initiation performs several functions which make up the heart. Not saying they don't exist, but not the names used. Initiation performs several functions which make up the heart and soul of any true secret society. Like boot camp, the initiation into the into the armed forces, important aspects of human thought that are universally compelling are merged to train and maintain the efforts of a group of people to operate in a certain direction. Initiation bonds the members together in mysticism. Neophytes gain knowledge of a secret, giving them special status. And the ancient meaning of neophyte is planted anew or reborn. A higher initiation is in reality a promotion inspiring loyalty and the desire to move up to the next rung. That is an indoctrination and control and giving your will over. The goals of the society are reinforced, causing the initiated to act toward those goals in everyday life. That brings about a change in the political and social action of the member. The change is always in the best interest of the goals of the leaders of the secret society. The leaders are called adepts. This can best be, that's right, be illustrated by the soldier trained to follow orders without thinking. And if you ain't lying, the result is often the wounding or death of the soldier for the realization of the commander's goal, which may or may not be good for the overall community. Now, we read about that in Secret Weapons for Secret Wars. They want you to be a mindless kaput, not really realizing the truth of the fact is you volunteered. And if you were drafted, you went. Everybody could have said no. But nothing nobody could have done. But everybody divided. You know, they say a country divided. You know it'll fall. Secret Weapons for Secret Wars. Anyway, initiation is a means of rewarding ambitious men who can be trusted. You will notice that the higher the degree of initiation, the fewer the members who possess the degree. This is not because the other members are not ambitious, but because a process of very careful selection is being conducted. Got to get the sociopaths, the psychos, the wife beaters, and a point is reached where no effort is good enough without a pull-up by the higher members. Most members never proceed beyond this point and never learn the real secret purpose of the group. The frozen member from that point on serves only as a part of the political power base, as indeed he has always done. Dress up, going to the meetings, the girlies, the drinking, the barbecue, the toy drives, all the BS. And they act like they walk around you because they're wearing that stuff as if it's something. No, and those of you who join, you know exactly what I'm talking about. My uncle and everybody around that, my roommate, Boston, used to come here and says, don't you join this shit. I had it when I went to Edinburgh, Scotland, I met that 90 and 87, 85-year-old and drank them 12 shots. It made me well informed of how stupid some of you are who have joined that shit. Anyway, part of the political power base, as indeed he has always done. You may have guessed by now that initiation is a way to determine who can and cannot be trusted. A method of deciding exactly who is to become an adept may be decided during initiation by asking the candidate to spit on the Christian cross. If the candidate refuses, the members congratulate him and tell him you have made the right choice. As a true adept, would never do such a terrible thing. The newly initiated might find it disconcerting, however, that she never advances any higher. If instead the candidate, and this is a fact, spits upon the cross, she has demonstrated a knowledge of one of the mysteries and soon will find him herself a candidate for the next higher level. The mystery is that religion is but a tool to control the masses. Knowledge, and in parentheses, or wisdom. Is there only God through which man himself will become God? The snake and the dragon are both symbols of wisdom. Lucifer is the personification of the symbol. It was Lucifer who tempted Eve to entice Adam. Just pay attention, don't get all in your emotions and feelings, okay? To eat of the tree of knowledge and thus free man from the bonds of ignorance. The worship, and in parentheses states a lot different from study in, of knowledge, science, or technology is Satanism in its purest form, and its God is Lucifer, who came down and taught man, for those you Christians and Muslims, all these things that had no need. Its secret symbol is the all-seeing eye in the pyramid. Mortal, Lord of the Rings. Every time you turn around, the damn thing's trying to come back. Undesirable effects of secret society and their horror of mystery has sometimes given them the reputation of being abnormal associations, or at the very least strange groups of people. Whenever their beliefs are those of the majority, they are no longer considered antisocial. A good example is the Christian church, which was at one time a secret society under the Roman Empire. Peep it. In fact, the open, friendly secret society, and in parentheses it states, the Vatican, and actually ruled most, if not all, of the known world at one time. Most secret societies are generally considered to be antisocial. They are believed to contain elements that are not liked or are outright harmful to the community in general. This is exactly the case in some instances. Communism and fascism are secret societies in many countries where they are prohibited by law. And in this country, the Nazi Party and the Ku Klux Klan are secret societies due mostly to the fact that the general public is disgusted by them. Their activities are sometimes illegal, thus the secrecy of their membership. And the early Christians were a secret society because Roman authorities considered them from the start to be dangerous to imperial rule. And the same was true of the followers of Islam. At least some of these true believers working in secret accomplished what would turn out to be for the eventual good of society. And the Druze and Yazidis in Syria and Iraq consider the Arabs a dangerous secret society dedicated to the takeover of the world. The Arabs today think the same of the Jews, Catholics, and Freemasons, used to have precisely the same ideas about each other. Now you got to remember, he don't know who the true Jews are, so don't get twisted, y'all. Remember, puzzles, pieces. And in many primitive or backward societies, initiation into the highest degrees of the group involved subjecting to trials which not infrequently resulted in death or insanity for the candidate. It can be seen that social right and wrong is not the yardstick in estimating the value of a secret society. In Borneo, initiates of hunting societies consider it meritorious and compulsory to hunt heads. In Polynesia, infanticide, Jesus Christmas, sheesh, and debauch were considered essential for initiation into the societies. What? With the tribal code needed members who indulged in these things as pillars of society. Y'all go ahead and look up at that infanticide and debauchery. But look up infanticide, like an infant to side. Look it up. And you already should know what debauch is, but they're one and the same. Damn. And y'all know in Polynesia, that's where I had that video I put on Facebook. They didn't take it down until they changed the witch card of the man over there in Polynesia eating the roasted baby. Like I guess it stillborn or something. They roasted. He ate it. Like it was nothing. Since the beginning of recorded history, and that was like, what was that, like 2015? Anyway, that was, yeah, the video was old, but yeah. Since the beginning of recorded history, governmental bodies of every nation have been involved with maintaining the status quo to defend the establishment against minority groups that sought to function as states within states, or to oust the constituted authority and take over its place. Many of these attempts have succeeded but have not always lasted. Man's desire to be one of the elect is something that no power on earth has been able to lessen, let alone destroy. It is one of the secrets of secret societies. It is what gives them a political base and lots of clout, and members often vote the same and give each other preference in daily businesses, legal and social activities. It is the deepest desire of many to be able to say, I belong to the elect. Elite. Houses of worship and sacrifice existed in the ancient cities. They were in fact temples built in honor of the many gods. These buildings functioned often as meeting places for philosophers and mystics who were believed to possess the secrets of nature. These men usually banded together in seclusive philosophic and religious schools. And the most important of all these ancient groups is the Brotherhood of the Snake or Dragon, and was simply known as the Mysteries. The snake and dragon are symbols that represent wisdom, and the father of wisdom is Lucifer, also called the light bearer. The focus of worship for the Mysteries was Osiris, another name of Lucifer. Osiris was the name of a bright star that the ancients believed had been cast down onto earth, and the literal meaning of Lucifer is bringer of light, or the morning star. After Osiris was gone from the sky, the ancients saw the sun as the representation of Osiris, or more correctly, Lucifer. That's how crazy they were. Osiris was represented by the sun. Albert Pike, check it out. Y'all know Albert Pike, that piece of shit is. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Isaiah 14:12. You know? And it is claimed that after Lucifer fell from heaven, he brought with him the power of thinking as a gift for mankind. That's symbolism in the quote. A lot of y'all know I listen to man. I'm going to end it off right there. All right. A lot of y'all know that I listen to Manny B. Hall. I do every other day. I listen to Manny B. Hall for an hour and a half. He detested it, and they asked him, "You got to ask one to be one." He was so influential with his knowledge that they had him come in because they wanted him to be silent for some things, but he did not. If y'all know the story of Manny B. Hall, you know what I'm talking about. You know who his driver was, right? Fritz or something like that. You know he murdered Manny. Anyway, you know his story, you know his story. And then he was later. You know how the game goes. In order to keep a secret, you kill the truth so that it becomes a secret, and you further continue to reinvent that through death, whatever, you know. Anywho, relax, man. Well, I'll punch you in your head, man. He like when I talk snizzle to him. Anywho, some people get upset. I know people I know who join it. I think they're worthless. And they get upset. Oh, all emotional. I'm like, yeah, well, you ain't that solid in the game, I guess, then. And then there are those who think they're really big up there, and they're full of it because I know more than they know. Oh, you ain't gonna rock. I'll be walking around looking at people through their little signals and stuff. I'll be like, he's retarded. I don't have no hate. I detest it. Especially when I see our people get involved. And then we get the idiots talking about, that was our stuff at first. No, it was not. Not this. Everything that you see is a perversion. I detest these idiots. To me, the 90-year Masonic woman in 1987, in Edinburgh, Scotland, after the second time going to King James Castle and getting deeper than the first time, hanging in the park, and all these Scottish melanated and pale skinned women just wanted to be with us. We was chilling. The first time we went there, we was drinking and all, but this time we were eating. People was cooking, bringing wonderful food. I made them 12. When I made them 12 shots, if any of you know about it, if you don't, just be silent. I don't care about your feelings or your emotions. And the things they gave to me, it let me know enough to know that there are people who are so full of it. And this woman was high up there. She had been one of them, held a lot of secrets, but just because I knew who I was. I knew my family's genealogy and history. And she says, I remember when she asked me, what do you think of this one I'm going to share with you? What do you think of the Civil War? I said, it's a lie. She looked at me and she looked over at not the 87, but the 85-year-old guy, and he just looked down, looked back over. So why do you believe it's a lie? Well, because I knew some people in my family who supposedly had fought, and it's still ongoing. It's not a civil war, and it's a war against us, period. Very good, Mr. James. That's all she said. She didn't give nothing to it or nothing. She just said, very good, Mr. James. So when I call those people talking about they're the sons of the Confederacy, and I know they're full of excrement, the majority of them had nothing to say. I had some peckerwood over there looking at with my hat on, talking about where you get that hat at. I said, what do you mean? What do you know about it? I said, first of all, this is just the sport one. Because the original ones I got, they don't have this. This is adjustable. The ones that I've had, the ones I got from high school, I used to walk around with, the real grayish one, like for cannon detail, whatever, it's our stuff. I still had that thing, even though it's all cracked up in the front from high school. The red one, I don't even want to get into the stories. This stuff compared to the hats we wear today, we think this is funky because of indoctrination. These are like magic. Look at the design. It wasn't made crude. It was made for a reason. There's a purpose they were made this way. These don't keep your head cool. This, not only that, like free energy and stuff. Anywho, and then there was a lot of other things shared with me. A whole lot. So that's why I love it when little people get all upset. You talking to me? I'm like, well, you must not be selling in your craft. Like they don't even get it. The words they're using. And then they say, but you got Lucifer in your name. No, that's me respecting my ancestors. I said, you don't even know what the words. They don't get it. It's the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. Why would a ghost, first of all, the word ghost. Anyway, why would a spirit, why does it got to be holy? Because it's directing you to one direction. The Son. They say Jesus, then all of a sudden now it's Yeshua, but then when I break down Yehoah and then I show you all these things, and there's over 6,400 and whatever names, and a lot of them names are right there, and nobody ever went to study that. It's not my problem because of people's ignorance. I'm not saying there's not a creator of creation. What I'm saying is that every bit of energy they have convinced people into is to give to something. And I'm here to tell you that something or something alike it or something we have unwillingly allowed, it's going to show itself or themselves or whatever. I'm not here to stop. I'm here to read, and hopefully some of y'all get it. I mean, you can go and listen to people talking about my take on sa-da-sa. So you see how I posted some of the stuff I posted. I just wanted to see how y'all reacted to it. I don't get paid for that. It's funny. I see other people talk about it. I say I'm gonna post and I say, so what say you? Do you get it? There's been a test all this time. It's funny. It's comical. And also, because I don't watch the media and I see somebody else talk about it, I Google to see what's going on. I use Google for it because it's going to be a bunch of crap. And I go, that's what it's all about. Let me post this and see what everybody else says about it. Maybe y'all give me more knowledge. Because I don't care. Now, if I share a split video, there's something being said. You see what I'm saying? I post to see that these idiots that work for all these platforms When they sit there, oh man, we're going to copyright. How you going to copyright something that the person told me to go ahead and share it everywhere? But because it's a Hindu woman talking about what's going on in their country, not accepting Pfizer because it's fucking people up and dropping dead. It's all over the streets. These idiots actually believe that people are going to pay attention to them lying as if the people don't know what some of these people are. Like, they don't get it. I guess they believe in the lies they're living, and hey, man, that's on them. If they can actually hear the people talking, and not everybody's keeping. People I know, we don't keep our phone. We don't carry them phones in our pockets. We don't like them phones next to us. We leave them in our vehicles. We hold them out in front of us when we walk in. Seriously, some of us even got these little cases we can put the phone in that can block the signal. Just like my lamb's t-shirts and underwear and socks and all that stuff. Yeah. Either you know or you don't know. Oh, this is for a rep. Rep Lord, I haven't tried this yet. The skate liver oil. I am actually going to give this a shot next Tuesday or Wednesday. I have to do what I'm doing without too much or anything, even though I'm doing intermittent fasting. So this is fermented skate liver oil. Okay. I'm gonna give it a run for its money. Calories 20, total fats, which is saturated fat, 3%, and cholesterol at 2%. You gotta have some in our liver. You're gonna get iron and all that as well. You're gonna see that. Fermented is really good for you. Cabbage, fermented soy is good for you. This soy they got out here is not good. But anyways, fermented skate liver oil contains naturally occurring vitamins A and D. Bang! The amounts of these nutrients will vary. Ingredients: raw fermented skate liver oil, I believe is a fish anyway, organic orange oil, organic lemon oil, and organic clove oil. That's from the plant, the flowers, the skin. So that's pretty awesome. And skate. The product is processed in store shellfish, which I don't care, because you got krill and all the other crap. Store in a refrigerator or dark, cool place. Solidification or clouding may occur below 7 degrees Fahrenheit. Oral dosing syringe is included in the box. I believe I showed y'all beginning of last week what was in there. So I'm not putting it in the fridge right now. I'll put it in the fridge after I open it. That's when you open it. So Alaska, the Bering Sea. It's a fish, I believe. Anyway, appreciate y'all guys taking the time. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down because I'm gonna get out these clothes, put on my shorts, my tank top, turn this thing into a different music that won't get copyrighted, and I'm going to listen to somebody else I'll share with you tomorrow, maybe next week, that I like to listen to. I like to listen to certain people talk about certain things. Let me give some shout outs and I'm gonna get the hell off here. Came up with the big books on the little book. That thing, I better stood over there, I probably broke this toe. Damn, Red. I'm being retarded like a motherfucker. Anywho. Evan Smiley, hey, what's going on? Hon? Hey, Sue, what's going on, baby? Go Mikey Hill, West Side, what's going on, families? The Chief Dog Bull, Grand Elevations, you already know. Navi, what's up, mama? Peace be true. Okay. I love that. Infanticide, the crime of killing a child within a year of its birth. Yes. In some legal jurisdictions, specifically by the mother, cases of infanticide often involve extreme emotional disturbance. Yes. Max V. Yeah. Skate is in the stingray family. Yes, it is. Yes. Still, I call it fish regardless. Yeah, you're very correct. Within that family. And it's the fermented, the liver. It's the... Most people don't know there was a group, and they still do it. I forget, are they in Washington or somewhere? But since the 1970s, everything they eat is fermented and molded. Their steaks, they butcher themselves, bread, blue and white mold. My uncle, Gary, 80-something years old, once a week he molds a group of bread to mold to bluish kind of green. Stop. And he eats one every week. I'm serious. He doesn't like antibiotics and none of that stuff. And he used some of the things that I talk about, like turmeric, black powder, and you know, loose things like that, certain things. And yeah, you know, he used to be with the mom. That's all I can say to that. And I can't say nothing else. That's maybe too much right there. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate everybody coming in. Mad love and respect. I'm gonna get off of here and get my music on, get my tablet with my headphones, and I'm gonna listen to homie talk that real good information. And I'll check with y'all tomorrow. All right. And we'll get into the others and it'll be good read. All right. Appreciate you all. Y'all have a grand evening.